Team 14 of 52 teams of 8 rival wisdoms help make America wiser and kinder with antique quotes that have passed the test of time to make humanity great, with words of wisdom to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. Give your kids a competitive edge with faster reading skills with timed practice videos, alpha Cypher puzzles to learn letters, words and phrases, and repetitive easy math to help us all grow wiser and kinder. Team Quote 14.1. Bravery never goes out of fashion. William Thackeray, 1811 to 1863. This quote by William Thackeray, the renowned English novelist best known for Vanity Fair, offers a timeless observation about human courage. Thackeray suggests that bravery is a universal and enduring human quality that transcends changing social norms, fashions, and eras. The metaphorical use of fashion implies that while styles and trends may come and go, true courage remains a constant and valuable human attribute. As a writer who critically observed social dynamics and human nature, Thackeray understood that bravery isn't about grand, heroic gestures, but can manifest in many forms: moral courage, standing up for one's principles, facing personal challenges, or showing compassion in difficult circumstances. The quote speaks to the timeless nature of human character. It suggests that courage is not a temporary or situational trait, but a fundamental aspect of human dignity. Regardless of the cultural, social, or historical context, the ability to face challenges, stand up for what is right, and overcome fear remains admirable and essential. Coming from a novelist who is adept at dissecting social conventions and human psychology, this statement reflects a deep understanding of human nature. It reminds us that true courage is always relevant, always meaningful, and always worthy of respect. Team Quote 14.2. Don't let schooling interfere with your education. Mark Twain, 1835 to 1910. This witty quote by Mark Twain, the renowned American writer and humorist, offers a provocative critique of formal education and a celebration of true learning. Twain suggests a critical distinction between schooling and education. While schooling typically refers to the formal, institutionalized process of learning in schools and universities, education represents a broader, more profound concept of acquiring knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The quote implies that rigid academic systems can sometimes hinder genuine intellectual and personal growth. Twain, known for his sharp social commentary and independent thinking, encourages individuals to look beyond classroom constraints and textbook learning. He advocates for a more holistic approach to education that includes personal experience, critical thinking, observation, and self-directed learning. As an autodidact who left formal schooling at a young age and gained his remarkable insights through extensive reading, travel, and life experiences, Twain embodied this philosophy. His own life demonstrated that true education comes from curiosity, engagement with the world, and a willingness to challenge established ideas. The quote remains remarkably relevant today. It challenges us to view learning as a lifelong, dynamic process that extends far beyond academic institutions. It encourages individuals to be active, independent learners who don't simply absorb information, but critically engage with knowledge. Team Quote 14.3. Remorse, the fatal egg that pleasure laid. William Cooper, 1731 to 1800. This poetic quote by William Cooper, an English poet and hymn writer of the 18th century, offers a profound metaphorical reflection on the consequences of pleasure and the nature of human regret. Cooper uses a striking biological metaphor, comparing remorse to an egg, specifically, an egg laid by pleasure itself. This imagery suggests that the seeds of future pain are often inherent in moments of immediate gratification. The word fatal adds a sense of inevitable doom, implying that the consequences of unchecked pleasure can be ultimately destructive. The quote reflects Cooper's complex psychological insights and his tendency towards moral and philosophical contemplation. As a poet who struggled with depression and religious introspection, he was keenly aware of human psychological patterns, how momentary pleasures can give birth to lasting emotional and spiritual suffering. The metaphor of an egg also implies a process of gestation, that remorse is not an immediate consequence, but something that develops and eventually hatches to reveal its full impact. This suggests that the repercussions of our actions are not always immediately apparent, but can grow and emerge over time. Cooper seems to be warning against thoughtless indulgence and encouraging a more reflective approach to life's pleasures. The quote invites us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions and the potential for future regret that might be inherent in momentary satisfactions. Team Quote 14.4. The discipline of desire is the background of character. John Locke 1632–1704. This profound quote by John Locke, the influential English philosopher and physician, offers a deep insight into the formation of human character. Locke suggests that character is not simply a matter of innate traits, but is fundamentally shaped by our ability to control and direct our desires. The word discipline implies a deliberate, conscious effort to manage our impulses, wants, and emotions. By framing desire as something to be disciplined, Locke emphasizes the role of self-control and rational thought in personal development. As a key figure of the Enlightenment and a pioneer of empiricist philosophy, Locke believed that human beings are not born with predetermined character, but develop through experience and conscious choice. This quote reflects his broader philosophical view that individuals have the capacity to shape their own moral and personal identity through reasoned self-regulation. The metaphor of desire as a background suggests that our basic impulses are always present, but our character is defined by how we choose to manage and direct those impulses. It's not about suppressing desires entirely, but about developing the wisdom and self-control to channel them constructively. This perspective is revolutionary for its time. It places personal responsibility at the center of character formation, arguing that we are not simply victims of our impulses, but active agents capable of self-improvement through disciplined reflection and choice. Team Quote 14.5. None so deaf as those that will not hear. None so blind as those that will not see. Matthew Henry 1662–1714. This powerful quote by Matthew Henry, an English Presbyterian minister and biblical commentator, offers a profound observation about willful ignorance and human nature. Henry uses parallel structure and metaphorical language to highlight the difference between physical inability and intentional refusal to understand. The phrases suggest that the most profound barriers to understanding are not sensory limitations, but psychological and emotional resistance. None so deaf as those that will not hear implies that some people actively choose not to listen, even when they have the physical capacity to do so. Similarly, none so blind as those that will not see indicates that some individuals deliberately avoid recognizing truth or reality, despite having the ability to perceive it. As a religious scholar and commentator, Henry likely drew this insight from both biblical wisdom and his observations of human behavior. The quote reflects a deep understanding of human psychology, how people can close their minds to information that challenges their beliefs, threatens their worldview, or requires them to change. This observation transcends its religious origins and remains profoundly relevant today. It speaks to universal human tendencies to resist challenging information, maintain comfortable existing beliefs, avoid confronting uncomfortable truths, selectively interpret evidence to support pre-existing views. The quote is a powerful reminder of the importance of intellectual humility, open-mindedness, and the willingness to genuinely listen and observe, rather than merely hearing and seeing what we want to hear and see. Team Quote 14.6. Modesty is the only sure bait when you angle for praise. Lord Chesterfield 1694–1773. This quote by Lord Chesterfield, an English statesman, diplomat, and writer known for his witty social observations, offers a clever insight into human psychology and social interaction. Lord Chesterfield uses a fishing metaphor to describe the art of receiving praise. By comparing modesty to bait, he suggests that true humility is the most effective way to attract genuine admiration. The quote implies that openly seeking praise is counterproductive. Those who boast or explicitly demand recognition often achieve the opposite of their desire. As a prominent figure in 18th century English society, Chesterfield was renowned for his sophisticated understanding of social graces and human behavior. This quote reflects his belief that social success depends on subtlety and emotional intelligence. Modesty, in his view, is not just a virtue but a strategic approach to social interaction. The metaphor of angling, fishing, is particularly apparent. Just as a skilled fisherman uses the right bait to attract fish, a modest person attracts praise more effectively than someone who aggressively seeks recognition. The quote suggests that true worth and accomplishment speak for themselves, and genuine praise comes naturally to those who do not overtly solicit it. This perspective challenges the more direct approaches to gaining recognition. It implies that true respect and admiration are earned through understated excellence and genuine humility, rather than self-promotion. Team quote 14.7. The first man gets the oyster, the second man gets the shell. Andrew Carnegie, 1835–1919. This quote by Andrew Carnegie, the legendary Scottish-American industrialist and philanthropist, offers a sharp observation about opportunity, entrepreneurship, and the rewards of initiative. Carnegie, who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the wealthiest and most influential businessmen of the Gilded Age, understood the value of being first, of seizing opportunities before others. The metaphorical oyster represents the prize, the reward, or the substantive benefit, while the shell symbolizes what remains after the valuable essence has been extracted. The quote suggests that success favors those who act first, who are willing to take risks, and who recognize and pursue opportunities before others do. It's a statement about the importance of being proactive, recognizing potential before it becomes obvious, taking calculated risks, understanding that timing and initiative are crucial to success. As a self-made man who transformed the steel industry and became a symbol of the American dream, Carnegie lived this philosophy. He didn't just inherit wealth but created it through innovation, strategic thinking, and the willingness to be a pioneer in his field. The quote also carries a subtle warning. Those who hesitate or follow in others' footsteps may find themselves left with little more than the remnants of opportunity, the shell, rather than the valuable oyster. Team quote 14.8. Insults are the arguments employed by those who are in the wrong. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, 1712–1778. This quote by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the influential French philosopher of the Enlightenment, offers a profound insight into the nature of argumentation and intellectual discourse. Rousseau suggests that resorting to insults is a clear indication of a weak position or an inability to construct a rational argument. When someone cannot defend their stance through logic, reasoning, or evidence, they often resort to personal attacks and inflammatory language. As a key figure of the Enlightenment who championed reason and rational discourse, Rousseau believed in the power of reasoned debate. This quote reflects his commitment to intellectual integrity and the importance of substantive, logical argumentation. He implies that true understanding and progress come through thoughtful discussion, not through demeaning or attacking one's opponent. This statement is a timeless critique of argumentative tactics. It suggests that resorting to insults is an admission of intellectual weakness. Strong arguments stand on their own merits. Personal attacks reveal more about the attacker's inability to reason than about the subject of debate. Genuine dialogue requires respect and rational thinking. Rousseau's observation remains remarkably relevant today, in an era often characterized by polarized discussions and inflammatory rhetoric. It serves as a reminder that the quality of an argument is determined by its logic, evidence, and coherence, not by the volume or vitriol of its delivery. Free Easy Extra Advantage Math, Spelling, and Reading Workbooks you can download for free at stop2thing.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free Easy Math Wisdom Workbooks with Octo-Repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free Easy Alpha Cypher coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this Cypher quote of encouragement using either our learning to spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms that have passed the test of time to encourage, educate, and entertain generations for centuries. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like pretty witty baby onesies and baby tees that you and others will see and read multiple times a day. The same is true with pretty witty kids, but they'll also share these wisdoms with anyone that can read at daycare or school. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think tees I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom that have passed the test of time. Our social equalities help make us all wiser and kinder with blatantly subliminal messages promoting a more fair and equal opportunity society for all. And don't forget our giftwisdoms.com for birthdays and holidays that makes it easy to share the wisdom with clothing, coffee mugs, and magnets. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom that have passed the test of time to make us all wiser and kinder. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. Join the 52 of 8 today.